Yeah.
You started making the YouTube videos. When did you realize, okay, when did that take off? When did you realize this is what I'm supposed to do?
Okay. I want to be real clear here. So 2019, I'm starting to do weekly film breakdowns, and a very small section of 49er fans think they're really cool. I'm starting to develop a very small but dedicated fan base. Like East Bay Chris is on the squad. Me and him are corresponding all the time, and it's pretty cool. I'm also trying to. I know I'm about to get pushed out of the PD, and that the editor doesn't really like me. And I'm trying to find new avenues. I started doing this thing called Hot Mic. I don't know if you remember. It didn't exactly take off, but the idea is kind of like Twitch for sports games, for sports. I mean, let people kind of talk over the sports and be home announcers. And there's a whole elaborate app where it syncs the time with the TV, and no one really liked it. Anyway, so I was sorry, Hot Mic. So I was doing a bunch of those with a friend of mine, Ryan Sakamoto, the Beast Rider.
Yeah, I know.
They hit me up they're like, you need a co-host. I was like, my guy, Ryan. So we're over in this is before Zoom and stuff, and we're like in his bedroom sitting together watching Monday Night Football and broadcasting to like East Bay Chris, and that's about it. Maybe East Bay Chris. I don't even know if he was in there. So Ryan's like, hey man, I've seen these periscopes you do. You get a lot of people in there. I'm like, yep. He's like, you should put that on YouTube. I'm like, why? He's like, why? I like Periscope. Periscope's easy. He's like, no, you don't understand. You need to be monetizing all this stuff.
Yeah.
You know that you can monetize your content on YouTube. I was like, no, I didn't know that. This was 2 years ago. And I had about probably 2,000-3,000 subscribers just because of the videos I put up. He's like, dude, what are you doing? Like, this is how you do it. You go to Google AdSense. 2 months later, I was all set up because of Ryan Sakamoto. And I wasn't really making much money. I made about like $200 in a month because I was posting a video one a week. And then I get this job for SI, and they're like, every article you post needs a video. I'm like, well, that's weird. That's kind of weird. And they're like, well, I mean, the ad revenue is 10 times the amount if an article has a video than if it doesn't. I didn't know that. So all of a sudden I needed to produce videos. And so I was producing about 2-3 2-minute videos a day, posting them on YouTube, and they were hitting. All of a sudden, my YouTube revenue would just go up every month. And it was like, man, this could pay for my rent. Man, this could surpass what I'm making at SI. Man, this could pay for a house. And what's crazy is it still hasn't gone down. Like the YouTube views and revenue has been at a steady incline, and it's still going. And I don't know, man. I'm not trying to talk about my money and brag too much, but it's like, thank you, Ryan Sakamoto. Thank you. And now he's doing YouTube too.
Yeah. You were probably in that room. Ryan does the videos with the hats behind him.
Hell yeah, I was in that room. Yeah. Yes.
That's incredible.
Yes.
I mean, the point to a lot of this is it took Grant going through all this and learning so many lessons, right? But there's also going to be people along the way, advice here. I mean, you know.
I got something else to say too.
Yeah.
Perseverance. It's like people know you and they hate you. They obviously, I'm 23. I hate Grant. He doesn't deserve this job. I freaking hate him. And you persevere and you take all that crap, and you don't get, people know you didn't get promoted or hired somewhere else. And then you just hang around. And by the time I'm 32, people are like, man, I hate Grant, but I know him very well. I've been following him for 10 years, and it's like he's part of the family. And all of a sudden people started, it's like, you know what? I kind of like Grant's style. I think getting hired by SI was like, helped big time, but just kind of sticking around, people start to, I don't know what it is. It's a human nature thing. It's like, I can't hate you forever, man. I don't know.
I have a theory about you, dude. Yeah. I'll keep it short. You know, in a movie where they'll introduce a villain, a bad character, and there's really brilliant screenwriters and there's really, really brilliant actors who will play the role of a bad character, but they're so good, and they'll start off, you're supposed to hate them. And then by the end of the show, a lot of times in a show, because you have more time for character development, they end up being the character you love the most.
Yeah, the scenes that the bad guy's in is your favorite. Well, I like that. I'll take that. Thank you. I'll definitely take that.
Or what they'll do is they'll have this person do horrible things early on, and then they'll show some humanity later on. Yeah. And you appreciate it.
That's what I did, dude. I came out guns blazing, trying to be like my dad. And then when I finally went to Periscope and people, I would talk at length for an hour as opposed to just 500 words slamming the 49ers. People would be like, all right, Grant's crazy, but he's not exactly what I thought he would be. And I think that's what it was. Yeah.
I think you showed more of your when you're on camera, you can't help as much as you are. Your humanness comes out. Who you are, who Grant is. People got to know you. I also think now when you learn to appreciate Jimmy Ward, when you give player their props, it means so much more coming from Grant Cohn. The reason why Jimmy Ward shouted you out, if anybody else can compliment Jimmy Ward, but if all those other people compliment everybody, it doesn't mean as much. When Grant likes a player, it's like, oh wow, check this out. So you have that villain that shows his humanity, and it just means more. I think
I like that. Who is the equivalent of that in the Marvel universe? I mean, the Punisher is he's kind of an anti-hero, but I'm not as tough as the Punisher. I mean, the Punisher kills people, so I don't know, but I like it. Oh, we should figure this out. It's an interesting one.
I'm not a Marvel guy, but some will figure it out.
I'm not a Marvel guy either. East Bay Chris says I went the opposite way, Grant. I liked you at the beginning, but I'm not so keen on you now. I respect that about you. East Bay Chris goes against the grain, and now I'm like, I'm played out, man. I'm super played out. I'm like Jay-Z when he made that album with Linkin Park. Like, really? You're just gonna do anything for money and clicks now, huh? Yeah, absolutely. I'm hot now. I could be back in the graveyard next year. I don't know. I should do merch right now and just
you got to push merch
shamelessly. Bleed all my fans for their money. Give it to me now.
You're at that point. Whatever you sell people, just like Jay at the end of his career, just like Drake does. They could push an album. They're writing like 4 albums ago, but they can push and people gobble it up.
Yeah, I feel irresponsible for that because I'm not a big Jay-Z or Drake fan. So I'm trying to keep my quality high, but we'll see what happens. I'm selling people subscriptions to a Discord right now. I feel really
you're in Twitch, you're on Discord.
I feel
that's the grind, dude. Those are legitimate, places to.
I went over to my brother's last night. He's 45 and he's in the tech industry. I'm like, hey man, I got a Discord. He's like, what's that? Like, I don't know. Hard to explain.
Talk on it, right? It's like it's for gaming people get on.
I guess, dude.
I think so.
I have a bunch of kids that are moderators that set the whole thing up for me. So thank you. And they're probably talking on it right now.
Having a Gen Z audience probably helps a lot.
Yes. Yeah. I think that's what I realized is that Gen Z's like my style. And I needed them to grow up. Maybe in 2011, the Gen Z market wasn't there, but all of a sudden the Gen Z market likes my style. I don't get it. Yeah. But I think I've got that on lock.